All right, greetings everybody. I am Sister Emily Dyck and I'm very excited to be doing our Bible lesson for today. So we're going to get out our Bibles and I'm going to be using the King James Version. So if you have the King James Version, that's great. And we're going to begin. All right. So the Bible has 66 books and it's separated into an Old Testament and a New Testament. So the Old Testament was written by the prophets and holy men of God before Jesus was born. And the New Testament was written by Jesus' actual disciples and apostles. So that's how the Bible is separated, okay? So we're going to do today's lesson from the very first book of the Bible. And we're going to start in the very first chapter of that book. Now, that first book is Genesis. So we're going to turn to Genesis. If you have your Bibles with you, Genesis chapter 1. And we are going to be talking about the account of creation. So I'm very excited about this. All right. So we're going to start in chapter 1 and verse 1. It's the very, very first book of the Bible. Okay. So we're going to be doing just a little bit of reading here. So if you want to follow along, then you can gladly follow along. It'd be great. So we have verse 1. In the beginning, God. So God has always been. Even when there was nothing, the world was not created, there was nothing, but there was God. So God is eternal. He has always been, he always will be. So maybe eternal is a word that you can look up maybe a little bit later on what the word eternal means. So when God created, I'm going to keep reading. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So God made heaven and earth. Now, this is not talking about the heaven where God is. This is talking about the skies, okay? So the skies and the earth. Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So what this is saying is there was nothing in the beginning. Before what we know as the earth, there was nothing at all. It was just a big black water, okay? So then verse 3, and God said, let there be light. And there was light. Imagine being in just darkness when you're in a room all by yourself and there's no windows and it's dark, all black. That's what it was. And God, verse 4, and God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So creation happened in 6 literal days. Okay, what we know as a morning till evening, creation happened in 6 literal days. So I like to use props. I think it's easy to understand. It's nice for something to see. It's not so boring, right? So here we have day number 1. And we have God dividing the light from the darkness. So we have a day and a night, okay? Day and night. That was what God created the very first day. All right, let's see what he's going to create the second day. So that was day number 1. Verse 6. Well, God saw that it was good that he had made an evening and a day and a night and a morning. And then he's like, you know what? Let there be a firmament. That's a big word. In the midst of the waters. So remember, there was just all darkness and water. But now he made a day and a night. So now he's going to divide the waters from the waters. Okay, that's interesting. Well, let's see what he's going to do. Verse 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. Okay, verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven, or the sky. And the evening and the morning were the second day. So now we have day 2. What did God create day 2? He created the heavens. So he took all this water and he divided the water And now we have the sky. Okay, so day 1, we have day and night. Day 2, we have the heavens. Okay. Now, where are we? Verse 9. And God said, so remember, he divided the waters. There are waters above the firmament and below. So now the sky is there, but there's still water underneath the sky. So, and God said, verse 9, let the waters under the heavens or the skies be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called the seas. And God saw that it was good. So day 3, the water that was under the sky was all water. So he said, okay, I'm going to take the water and I'm going to put it into one spot. So the waters he put into one spot, those are called the seas. And the dry land was called the earth. So we have the earth and the sea, but he also made some other things. Let's see what they were. Verse 11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, and the herb yielding seed, and fruit trees. I'm going to skip a little bit. So we have grass and herbs and fruit trees. And let's see what else it says. Oh, and God saw that it was good. So we have the earth and the sea. Now they're divided. And grass and trees and herbs. That was day 3. Let's see day 4. We only have a couple days left, and then all is created. Let's see. Verse 14. But something was missing. I have a day and a night. I have the sky. I have earth and sea and grass and all this, but something's missing. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day and the night. What lights do we have in the day and in the night? And let them be for signs and seasons and days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Now I'm in verse 16. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. Okay, so he's going to divide the light and the darkness. So he's going to make the greater light, the sun, the lesser light, the moon, to rule the night. And then he made the stars too. The pretty stars that twinkle in the night. So we have the bright moon shining in the night, giving light in the darkness, and the stars twinkling in the night sky. And then morning comes and the sun rises. So God made these lights on day number 4. Okay, we have 2 more days left. Let's see. You know what? Let's go to verse 20. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. So that means the water that he separated from the dry land, it was empty. It was just water. So he's like, you know what? Let's put some living things in that water, right? And then, still in verse 20, and he wanted moving creatures that have life. He wanted fowls or birds to fly in the skies. So verse 21, and God created great whales and every living creature that moveth which the waters brought forth abundantly, or a lot of, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. So day 5, all that empty water and empty land that just had trees and grass and herbs, but there was nothing moving. So God made fish to swim in the sea and birds to fly in the air. He wanted living creatures, okay? So fish and birds was day 5. All right, let's see what God is going to create on day 6, the last and final day of creation. So verse 22, God blessed them. So God blessed the fish and the birds, and he said, be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters in the seas and let the fowl multiply on the earth. Okay, verse 24, and God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle, like cows and horses and sheep, and creeping things like snakes and stuff like that, and a beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. Okay, so God made the land animals, all those nice animals that you like so much, that I like so much, the dogs and the cats and the horses and all that nice land animals. Okay, but God didn't stop with the land animals on day 6. There was one very, very special creation that he created on day 6. Let's see what that is. So let's see verse 27. So God created, you know what? Let's go back to verse 26. That's where it starts. And God said, let us make man. So we have fish and birds and trees and land animals, but there were no people. Wonder what a world would be like without people. So God said, let's make man. Oh, so man was also on day 6. Let's make man in our image, after our likeness. And the man is going to have dominion, or he's going to be able to rule over all the animals and over all the fish. So man was a very, very special creation. Okay, now let's read verse 27. So God created man. That means he formed the man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them. Now I'm going to skip down a little bit. So God was giving man rule. So man could rule over the animals and over the trees and whatever he wanted. Then I want you to notice something. So at the end of each day after God created, he said, it was good, right? But now I want you to notice what he said at the end of day 6 after he created the man, the special man. Let's read verse 31, the very last verse of the chapter. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day. So we've gone through all 6 days of creation. Then, what do you think God did after he created all of these things? On day 7, God rested. So it's like God sat back and he looked over everything that he had made, and he had done a really good job. But the most special of his creation was that he had created man. So I'm going to leave this Bible lesson right here, and I hope you're looking forward to our next one, because I think our next one's going to be interesting. And I hope with how I ended this one, how God created the man, that you're going to start thinking, what is the next lesson going to be about? So we're going to end that right there. So Lord bless you and have yourself a wonderful day, and we're going to see you next time.